Hey, welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. Glad you could join us. Today in Soloing Concepts, we're going to discuss the 2-3 rule or the 2-3 approach to soloing. This is a really cool way to go about things. It's not the be-all end-all, and I'll get into that a little bit too, but it is a great thing to understand so that you can actually integrate it into your soloing. So let's just get to it. And be sure to like and subscribe to Outsmart Your Guitar along the way. And then remember, down in the description, you'll see a link to patreon.com, Outsmart Your Guitar. Go on over there, join for free, sample the lessons that are available for you there, then come on board as a full patron at one of 3 levels. All right, let's get to the lesson. The essence of the 2-3 rule or approach is you start on a given string and play 2 notes. We're going to start on the 6th string at the 3rd fret and play the 5th fret. And that's our 2 notes, 3 and 5. Now, this is our root, A, so we're going to be in the key of A throughout. So remember where all your root tones are as we go through this. The second part of the rule is that you then move over to the next string higher, and in this case we're moving from 6 to 5, and you play 3 notes. So we start at the 3rd fret, and then we transition up to the 5th fret with our 1st finger, and then play the 7th fret with the 3rd finger, and that's your 3 notes. 2, 3. Remember, your root is A. Now, for those of you who play transitioning with your 3rd finger, that's quite all right. I do that sometimes as well, but I prefer transitioning leading with the 1st finger. So here's the pattern. Take a couple of seconds, get it down, learn it, and get comfortable with it. And remember, we're in the key of A moving forward. To further drive this home, here is the tablature, and it shows the transition point with that little slanty line in the tablature portion. Right here, between 3 and 5 on the 5th string. Remember where your root is, A. Okay? Now what we do, as you can see in the diagram, we have some red dots added, all right? So remember, the pattern is this. And if you want to know the notes, it's G, A, C, D, and E. And it's 5 notes, and those are the 5 notes we're going to repeat 1 octave higher, the notes in red. And you'll notice, playing the E here, you're right in place now to move over to the 4th string and play G, A, C, D, E. The exact same notes and the exact same pattern, an octave higher. And your root is here at 7 on the 4th string. I don't have it highlighted. You need to put this in your memory, where your roots are. Pay attention. So play the pattern and get comfortable playing first part, second part, and blend them together as one flowing thing. And if you want, you can play it backwards. Always resolve on the root so you know the key that you're focusing on, and pay attention to where your roots are. So take a minute or so, get comfortable playing the first pattern and now the second pattern in red. Play smooth and flowing up and back. And if you want, you can bring a metronome in to help you get that nice and smooth. Always good to work with a metronome. And here is the tablature for the addition of the red version of the pattern. Here's your transition point. Here's your transition point. And when you're doing a descending, here's your transition point. Here's your second transition point. Always resolve to the root. Okay, and again, if you bring in the metronome, it'll help you refine your timekeeping skills and get this smooth and flowing. In the diagram, you'll see we've added the pattern a third time, now in blue on the first and second strings. So you play through your first two patterns. And now, because of the tuning of the third to the second string being a third instead of a fourth, you have to move up one fret to the 8th fret, and it's G, A, C, D, E, right? And here's your transition right here between the same two notes, the C and the D. So now you add it in. Bear in mind the locality of your roots. So you can look at this as a secondary lesson in where are your roots. Here again in the key of A. Now you can play this pattern backwards. And remember, always end on a root to keep yourself grounded in the key you're actually playing. All right, so take a couple of minutes, get this smoothed out. If you want, bring in the metronome to further refine not just your timekeeping skills, but flow as well. Here is the tablature showing you your transition points and laying it out on the fretboard if you're more comfortable looking at tablature. It makes things really abundantly clear without any question. First transition, second transition, third transition, and in reverse, first transition, second transition, third transition, ending on the root. Smooth and flowing is the key here. All right, so spend a little time and get this down. Now, I want to talk about one other little thing you may have already kind of noticed. When you're descending, you're actually now reversing the 2-3 rule to a 3-2 rule, starting with 3 notes, playing 2 notes on a lower string. So you're going from higher to lower instead of lower to higher. Then you go to the next lower string, 3 notes, next lower string, 2 notes, 3 notes, 2 notes. So 2, 3, 3, 2. Pretty cool. Okay, so far so good, right? You've got the 2-3 rule pretty well understood, and that's a good thing, right? So now you've got the pattern down, and it's time to put it to work. So first, you need a progression, right? So let's start with that. All right, progression just needs to be something appropriate. It doesn't need to be complicated and involved. So we're just doing a 3-chord thing here, A minor, G, and F, right? Straight 4s. Now, you can gussy it up a little bit if you want. Whatever you want. Just keep it straightforward for the time being. Then get it to a metronome to smooth it out, and then record it into your looper. Now that you have the rhythm recorded into your looper at a nice comfortable tempo that you can play over, what you want to do is run this 2-3 3-octave pattern up and back on the fretboard like this. Well, we got to get that button pushed. Just run it up and back, get comfortable with it, don't get fancy, just do the strict exercise of getting comfortable playing in time up and down the fretboard. Now comes the fun part, where you're going to now, just using the 5 notes in each of the 3 positions of the pattern, play with a melodic feel. And you can start anywhere. You don't need to start low, you can start up high. But just play through the pattern more or less. And well, here's what I'm talking about. All right, this is what you want to do. 3, 4. Okay, now if you bend strings already, there's a couple of spots you can bend strings, so you can go ahead and add that component. 3, 4. And you'll notice I jumped around. You can do that as well. Just stay focused on those 5 notes in all 3 positions, and then add in the bends as well, where you feel comfortable doing so. All right? Spend about 10 minutes or so, more if you want, and you'll begin to hear things that sound like what you've heard on records, and that's the whole idea. Okay? As you can see, this 2-3 rule is actually pretty cool, because what you're doing is using a pattern that you are now just starting in one place and then adding in an octave higher and then adding in an octave higher than that, just as you went through here. So in this first part of a multi-part series, you've got the building blocks, you've got the starting place. Now, what's important for you to do is to take this and begin to integrate it into what you already know how to do. Don't make this your primary approach. Make it yet one more tool you have, one more approach or technique that you can now integrate into what you already know how to do. There's no secret. And those guys trying to sell you their programs for $27 or whatever it is, they are hoodwinking you. They are deceiving you. They are telling you something that is inaccurate, because the 2-3 technique will not instantly turn your guitar playing around. Some of you will gain benefit very quickly because maybe you're a little more advanced. Some of you, it won't click right away, but it will. If you keep using it and putting it to work for you, it will start to make sense. So be patient with yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day, and the guitar players you admire, they didn't become great overnight. They spent years, just like you're spending, becoming great. I spent years to get to the place where I was comfortable to consider myself and begin playing out as a professional guitar player, both in touring and in the studio. That takes time and it takes effort, and you can do it. So never quit. That's something I always say, right? Never quit. And if you want to go to the next part and subsequent parts of this series, go on over to Patreon and subscribe at the Backstage Pass level, and you will get access to everything there is in this series and many other series as well. All right, so that'll do for today. Thank you again for letting me spend the time here to show you things you want to know and need to know. So until next time, you take care, and we'll see you then.